Hello, everyone. Welcome to day one of Let's Get Back on Track to Our Happiness. All right. Um, my name is Angie Langley, and I am your host of the Sisterhood TV. And I want you guys to let me know if you can see me or hear me. If you can give me a thumbs up, that would be awesome. Also, there's a link above that says Stream There for Facebook. So if you can click on that and then come on back, that way I can see who's here and who's commenting. Okay. So we are going to face our fears today. Are you ready? Uh, um, don't worry. It's not going to be scary. It's not going to be hard. You just need to be aware. Okay. So while I am waiting for everyone to come, and I want you to make sure you guys have your workbook. Okay. And you need a pencil and an eraser. Okay. So what is one of your fears? Do you guys have fears? What is a fear? We are going to go over that today. Okay. So if you guys have been knocked down by like a trigger or a trauma or what the hell ever, and you just can't seem to figure out how to get beyond it, well, I'll show you how to rise up so you can take back control of your life again. So if this is you or someone you know, this is where you need to be. Okay. So day one in your workbook. So if you guys can grab that for me, we're going to go through. So day one is we're going to face your fears. Okay. And we're going to deal with those. Okay. Because one of the biggest fears that I had was drowning. I was petrified of drowning. And I had an incident when I was 16 years old. My uncle threw me in a pool and I went straight to the bottom. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm going to drown. I'm going to drown. Like, what am I going to do? I can't drown. There's little kids here, right? And then all of a sudden my feet touched the bottom of the pool. And I was like, oh, maybe I can, push my way back up. Okay. So I went and I pushed myself back up. And when I hit the surface, my uncle was about ready to jump in and save me. Him and we looked at each other and our eyeballs just popped right out of our head. Like we were both petrified. And did you know that I've been petrified of water ever since? I only live like maybe a mile from a beach and I will not go in the water. I would not go in the water. I would not swim. I was petrified of boats, getting into a boat and going on a lake. Nope. Petrified. I could not even, hold my breath underwater. I could not even, I was petrified of my kids getting in the water, right? So it took me over 30 years. 30 years, I went and I took swimming lessons to get over that fear. And, that overcoming that fear just opened the floodgates to my whole life. Like that's what was one of the things that was blocking me, right? Because I kept saying, no, I can't do that. No, I'm afraid. No, I can't, right? But, but since I've learned how to swim, and I'm not afraid of water anymore, right? Things have just opened up. I have been doing things that I've never thought possible, right? And it's just crazy, the things that are happening to me. So once you get over those fears, once you get over that, everything is going to open up for you. And you would be surprised at what's going to come. Okay. Now, tomorrow, we're going to be looking into your future. Okay. So we are going to find out what this is, what your future is all about. Okay. And then on day 3, we're going to have some fun. Okay. So I want you to bring a date. Right? And it's not just any date. Okay. So I'll give you some more information on that tomorrow. So your fears. What are some of your fears? Okay. So I want you guys to go on day 4 or page 4, day 1. Right? And I want you to track your happiness score. Okay. So we're going to track that this week. Okay. So are you like a 1? My life sucks. I am not happy. I'm depressed. I'm this, I'm that. So if that's so, put in a 1. Okay. Are you a 10? Like, man, I have an amazing life. I am happy in all areas of my life. Right? And put a 10. But if you have some areas in your life that you are happier than others, okay, put that in there too. Okay, where are you on this happiness scale? Okay, and so guys, there are 3 things that affect your happiness. Do you know what they are? If you do, put in the comments, what do you think affects your happiness? There are just 3 things. So if you had, let's just say you were sick all the time, you were depressed, you were burned out, you have Crohn's, you have, heart disease, you have migraines. If you were sick like that all the time, wouldn't that affect your happiness? Your health affects your happiness. Because when you're sick all the time, you're not happy, right? If you have that anxiety, that depression, that PTSD, you're not going to be happy, right? What else affects your happiness? Anything else that you guys can think of that would affect your happiness? If you had more of it, would you be happy? Okay. What about having some amazing friends? What about having some amazing coworkers? What about having an amazing relationship with your family or your spouse or your kids? Right? Would that make you happy? Yeah. What about the most important person in your whole life? Is you, right? What if you were absolutely in love with yourself? What if you didn't doubt yourself? What if you felt worthy of an amazing life? What if you were good enough? What if you felt good enough? Would you be happier? Yeah, you would. Right? And not worrying about what other people think, who cares what they think? As long as you're happy, right? So those are the 3 things that affect your happiness, okay? That is your relationships, your money, and your health, right? So your money, you have a better job. It'd be nice not to have to worry about paying bills, living from paycheck to paycheck, worrying about buying food, right? So if you were worried about that stuff, you're not happy, right? There's some people that can't even afford their rent or their mortgage, right? Or, there's some people out there that just can't make ends meet and they're not happy. So what if you had more money in your life? Okay. What if you had more opportunities to even just get that promotion or to get a better job or just to have some amazing clients come to you? Yeah, your soulmate clients. I have a lot of business women that I work with and, they are attracting amazing things into their life, right? So, yeah. So what are the 3 things that you need to find your happiness? Okay. Now there are 3 things that you need to do. And the first one is your past. Okay. You know how people say, let your past go. That doesn't matter anymore. It's in the past. Right. But you're like reliving it over and over and over again, even no matter what you do. no matter how hard you try, no matter what you're trying to do, like what therapy you go to. You could go to a therapist for 10 years, and you're just spilling your guts all over the place, right? But it's not helping, right? Yeah. So we have to deal with your past, not let it go. We have to deal with it. Okay. And to deal with it is to become aware of it. Okay. And we need to heal that. Okay. And get it out of your body, get it out of your energy. Okay. And, okay. Makes sense? Yeah. So, and also the second thing is your future. Okay. We have our life mapped out. We want it so bad that we have a stranglehold on it, right? Just like Bart Simpson and Homer on The Simpsons, right? You know how he's always strangling Bart, like we have this death grip on our future, on our life, and we just can't let it go, right? We want it so bad, so bad. But you know what that's doing? That is putting it forward. It's just like having the carrot in front of the horse. It's always, you can see it, you can feel it, you can taste it, but you just can't grab it, right? So we need to learn to let that go. Okay, let go of that outcome, let go of our future. Okay, I mean, it's amazing to have it mapped out. It's amazing to know what we want. It's amazing to be clear on that, right? Because this is what the universe is going to give us. But when we are so focused on it, when nothing else matters, but we are like having a stranglehold on it, it's blocking our flow. Okay. So we deal with our past, we let go of the future. Okay. And then what does that leave us? Okay. Our present, it's right now, right this single minute. This is all that matters. Okay. The stuff in the past, it's already over with. It's done. So once we deal with that, you will never get triggered by that again. Okay. And our future, like nobody's worrying about that. Okay. Because it hasn't happened yet. So that's why we're taking actions to work towards it. Okay. So to take actions, we have to be in the present moment. Okay. I had an amazing woman. I know she's, every time I went there, she would always talk about her past or she'd talk about her future. And then as soon as she realized what she was talking about, she'd be like, in the moment, right? And it took me a while to figure out what in the world she meant, right? That is like in the moment, well, yeah, this is right now, right? But now I realize that in the moment is the most important part of your whole day, your whole life is right now, right this second. Okay. Make sense? Yeah. So on the next page, okay, page 5, I want you guys to list up all your fears. Okay. List them all, but I want you to use a pencil. Okay. So I want you to write down any phobias, any fears that you have, even ones that you're not quite sure of, I had a fear of drowning. Okay. I had a fear of what people thought of me. What people think. Okay. What else is there? What other kind of fears do you have? I had a fear of rod iron gates. Why? I had no idea why. All I knew was that whenever I saw one, whether it was in a movie or a TV show, or even if I drove by one, I would just get the shivers. And I would always have a picture of someone being stabbed with one or landing on one and being killed. Why? I had no idea. No idea why. But you know what it was? I found out that in a past life that I was a warrior. And I was walking along and I had my spear in my hand. Okay, and I'm walking along and then all of a sudden I trip and I fall. And the spear goes in one ear and out the other. And that is how I died in a past life. And that fear kept coming towards me, right? For lifetimes. Right? So if you guys have anything like that happen, write that down. Okay. We also have a fear of, we could have a fear of dogs. Okay. Or cats. You could have a fear of, being in the dark. Okay. Some people could have fear of snakes. Okay. So I want you to write them down. Okay. Because it's very important for your brain to see those, right? You have them floating around in your head, but once you get them out and you see them, your brain sees in pictures. So the brain is like, oh yeah, she is afraid of drowning. Because, and then it goes back to the point where we almost drowned, right? And oh yeah, she was afraid of wrought iron gates, but we haven't figured that out yet. But I know what it is, right? Okay, so it's important to write it all down. So write these all down, but make sure you do it in pencil. Okay. Now on the next page here, we have the clarity quiz. Okay, so this is where we want to be clear on what your fears are. Okay, so if you guys can see me and hear me, can you let me know? Give me a thumbs up in the comments, because I'm going to give away some prizes today. So if you guys are here, let me know. Put in the comments, hey, hello, and I will be spinning a wheel, and we will be giving away a gift. Okay, for those who are live here today. So yeah, and if you guys want any of this replay, I'll put #replay in the comments, and Polly and I can get that for you too. Oh, that's okay. You're here. Yeah. So if you guys have any of those fears, right? We were just going over your fears. Okay. So I want you to write them all down here. Okay. Write them all down in pencil. Okay. Replay. Okay. Awesome. We'll get you the replay. And if you have a fear that you just don't know where it's coming from, or you can't get over it, put #call in the comments and give me a call, and we can figure out where it comes from. Okay. So the clarity quiz, right on page 6 here. Okay. So have you ever experienced low self-esteem, mood swings, difficulties forming relationships, unexplained physical symptoms, like you could have a pain somewhere, or I was talking to a woman today who has a bad back. She has this severe pain in her back, although she had a trauma, but now she thinks it's it was from her trauma, plus there's an emotional attachment to that too, right? So she has a hard time getting it and rid of it. And it's the same as like Crohn's, if you have Crohn's or anything like that, right? The Crohn's is caused by stress, by an autoimmune disease. So when your immunity is down, that's caused by a lot of embedded emotions that are stuck inside of you. Okay. Yeah. So if you guys have any of those physical symptoms, feelings of anxiety or sadness, or avoidance of reminders of the past, right? Because you know how sometimes we have flashbacks or we get triggered and we just kind of close our eyes and like, no, we don't want to relive that again, right? Do you guys have any of those? Just circle yes or no right here, okay? Number 2, do you have vivid or distressing experience, dreams, or emotions they have no explanation for, right? Like when I was when I had a fear of a wrought iron gate, right? I had no idea what it was, where it comes from, or why, I have a client who she said was petrified, just petrified of bridges, and she had no idea why. She always was that way. And she knew that if she had to go somewhere across the bridge, she went the long way around instead of crossing the bridge. Or if she absolutely had to cross the bridge, the air would just whoosh right out of her lungs, right? And her throat would tighten up and she couldn't breathe. She could not breathe until she got to cross the bridge. And then she was fine, right? But while she was crossing that bridge, she had this terrible fear of drowning. Right? So when I was working with her, she was like, I don't know if you can help me with this or not, she said, but I have this really weird fear and I have no idea where it comes from. She said, can you fix it? Can you help me? And I was like, okay, so what is it? So she told me. So what it was in a past life, she was on a bridge and she got pushed off the bridge and she drowned. And that's how she died in this life, right? And that fear, that trauma was passed on from her, life. And I don't know how many past lives it was, right? But do you know what happened as soon as she found out what that caused from? She went and she drove over a bridge. And do you know what happened? She could breathe. She wasn't triggered anymore. She has no more, emotional attachment to it anymore, right? She can drive across the bridge all day and not have that trigger. Okay. So sometimes you have fears that you don't even know you have. Okay. Also, where I had that fear of drowning. My son doesn't like water. He doesn't go swimming. He was very afraid of boats, but just in the last year, he has been getting in a boat, going across the lake. So that is helping. But so I figured that my fear of drowning was passed on to him. Okay. So sometimes, you might think that things happen to you for no reason, or it's like, oh no, it just happens to me. It's not going to bother anybody else. It gets passed down. Okay. My client, I was working on her daughter, and her daughter had this intense fear. I told her, I said, you have this intense fear. And she goes, yeah. She said, I have this fear of being assaulted, of being sexually assaulted. And I was like, oh, and come to find out her mom had the same fear. Although neither one of them have ever been in that situation. They've never even come close. They've never been assaulted before. So we dug a little deeper to find out what was going on. And the grandmother was assaulted when she was younger. And she held on to that fear because she didn't want to relive it no more. She didn't want to deal with it. She thought if she went to therapy, she would have to bring it up and bring it up and bring it up, right? And so she just held on to it. And she thought, well, that's it. It's done. But that fear was passed on to her daughter and her granddaughter. Okay. So if you guys have these fears, we got to release those because they'll be passed on. Okay. So if you guys have anything like that, put yes or no. Okay. Also, what have you done to fix these issues? Okay. A lot of people go to healers, they go to do Reiki sessions, they go to therapy, they go to a homeopath, they go to an acupuncturist, to help release these things. I had a client that, she had other therapies, and that's fine. And the person that was doing the therapy on her would bring things up. I mean, it would release the trauma or the energy block, but it just brought it to the surface. He never actually helped her let it go. And so I messaged her one day because I just had this feeling that something was going on, like when you guys come work with me, I am totally in tune with you. So I know when something is wrong. So I messaged her and she's like, I can't talk. I feel terrible. I said, oh, what's wrong? So she goes, this happened and I had the session with him and he just brought everything up, and my gallbladder is killing me. I have that blockage in my gallbladder. And I was like, oh dear, okay. So she was in so much pain and so much agony. And I said, okay, let me see what I can do. She was, I don't know if you can do anything. She said, it hurts so bad. He just brought it up to the surface and that was it. So anyway, I went in and I helped her release that. Okay. So we just don't bring things to the surface. We get rid of that shit, right? So, So what other therapies have you done? Okay. To get rid of this stuff. I was talking to a woman and she said every time she goes to therapy, she has a therapy hangover for 2 or 3 days, right? And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but yeah. So what have you done to fix these things, fix these fears? Okay. The next question is, how do you want your life to be like? Okay. So tomorrow we are going to look into your future. Okay. And tomorrow I want you to bring a mirror. Okay. Or a looking glass. We're calling it a looking glass. Okay. And we're going to figure out what your future is going to look like. Okay. So I want you to think about that tonight. Okay. What you want your life to be like. Okay. And I want you to figure out what you need to get there. Okay. What is the fastest, shortest route possible to get you there? Okay. Now, I want you guys to go back to your homework here. Okay. So you know where we had all these fears, okay, that you've written down in pencil. Okay. I want you to grab your magic eraser. Okay. Because your brain is thinking, oh God, she has all these fears and they're bringing them up, right? And they're triggering the hell out of you. All right. So this magic eraser, we're going to erase all this. Okay. So you're not triggered by those anymore. Okay. Because your mind and your brain is like, oh, well, what was those fears again? I don't know. Can't remember. All right. So let's erase. Okay. So grab your eraser. We're going to erase that all off there. Okay. Every little bit of it. Okay. No more fear of drowning. No more fear of wrought iron gates. No more fears of being in the dark. No more fears of skunks. Right. I used to be afraid of skunks when I go walking at night because they like to pop up and spray you. So, yeah, don't like skunks, but I'm not afraid of them anymore. Okay, so erase them all off. Okay, we're going to erase all that. There, and now your mind is thinking, oh, okay, they're gone, right? So there you go. How's that, right? All gone. So those fears are gone. Okay, so now we can move forward to our future. Okay. So if you guys want any of these replays this week, put hashtag replay in the comments and we can get those to you. If you still need that workbook, okay, put hashtag workbook in the comments and we can get that to you too. And tomorrow, bring a mirror, okay, because this is going to be fun. It's going to be a role play. And so for those who are live today, I want you to put a comment in the thing there, in the comments here. So I'm going to go and we are going to, let's see if I can do this. There we go. Okay, so we have some gifts here. Okay, so we are going to spin. Let's see what today's prize is. Is this going to work for me? Not there. Okay, hold on. Hold on. There we go. All right, here we go. What are you going to get? Okay. Oh, you're going to get the SCORE book. Oh, I love this book. It is a life-changing book. It's an amazing read. It's just a quick little read. Let me see. I can show you. It's right up here on my bookshelf. Right here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is a SCORE book, and I can send that to you. Okay. Okay, so put hashtag SOAR in the comments and I can send everyone who was live today one of those. All right. So again, come back next, or not next week, tomorrow. And we are going to look into your future, which is going to be so much fun. I love this part. And if you have a fear that you just can't get through or get over, give me a call. Okay, just put hashtag call in the comments and I can get that to you too. Okay, and later on Thursday, I am going to have an amazing special guest. And you are going to love her. She had just joined me about a month ago. And so she's going to talk about, yeah, you'll see. You're going to love her story. So, so come back again tomorrow, the same time, bring a mirror. Okay. If you need help with your homework, put hashtag homework in the comments and I can help you with that too. Okay. And so how was that? Did you guys face those fears? You know, were you ready to rumble? Right? They're not so bad, right? Yeah. So once you're aware of these things, it doesn't take long to get rid of them. So, and this is one of the things that I help you do. Okay. Because I can learn how to swim. Anybody can get over that fear, right? And, you know, from me doing that, you know, I had a body image. I did not like my body. I did not know like how it looked. And of course, for me to go take swimming lessons, I needed a bathing suit, right? And so I went to Walmart and I bought the biggest one-piece bathing suit that I could find. You know, if I could have had one of those ones where they had back in, you know, 50s or 60s, like that was kind of like a one-piece short thing. That's probably what I would have taken, but they didn't have any. So I had to get over that fear of that too, right? Of being into a bathing suit and actually being in public because it was a public pool that I had to go to, right? And so that led me to getting into bodybuilding, you know, and I did my first competition. And if you guys know anything about bodybuilding and what these women wear, it's very, very teeny tiny, right? So I went from wearing huge baggy clothes to wearing these little teeny tiny bikinis with high heels, right? Strutting on the stage in front of a whole bunch of strangers, right? So just getting over that one fear, you know, just opened up the whole world for me, right? Just because I've done that, every time I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone, I'm trying something new. And, you know, my Patsy, she's always in the back of my head trying to keep me safe, right? And she's like, oh, you probably shouldn't be doing that. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but, you know, we've done this and we've gotten over this and we've done that. So we're going to be good. We're okay, right? So this is, you know, once you face that fear, once you get over that fear, once you figure out exactly where the fear comes from, okay, your life is going to be amazing. It's going to totally change. Okay. So again, come back tomorrow at the same time, bring a mirror. Okay. I want you to bring a mirror. Okay. If you need any help with the homework, put hashtag homework in the comments and I can help you with those fears. Okay. And how to erase them. And have an amazing night. I will get the SOAR book to you tonight or tomorrow. And so have a great night and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.